I'll preface this with I'm very emotional, and I will do my best to contain it. In fact, our entire family is very emotional, so bear with us. You know, we all have dreams, and we all have since we were little. I know I always dreamed of getting married and having a family. And in 2 weeks, I'll be celebrating my 20th anniversary with Perry, my high school sweetheart. And here's Stuart. This is Stuart, my own high school junior who's preparing to embark on his college plans. Chase will be in high school this fall. And Wells is 10 years old. And he fights cystic fibrosis every day of his life. This is one dream I did not plan on. I never dreamed that I would be standing in front of you tonight talking about cystic fibrosis. I never dreamed I would be an advocate for those with CF, or that I would spend countless hours on the computer researching a disease that I fear may take my son away from me way too early. I didn't dream that I would become an enforcer of treatments, therapies, and medicines, a nurse in my own right, or attempt to teach school subjects that I really should remember, but I don't. But on October 18, 2000, my son Wells had been on to 30,000 when he was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis at 3 weeks of age. I remember that day so very clearly, and I truly remember thinking that all my hopes and dreams for my third son were gone. As I looked at that doctor and I asked, is he going to die? I have come a very long way since October of 2000, and I now know that cystic fibrosis is all about living and not dying. Yet cystic fibrosis is not for the weak at heart, especially emotional mothers like myself. Many of you in this room tonight know the words cystic fibrosis. But do you know us, the parents of a child fighting CF every day, the older brothers of a 10-year-old with CF, and even more importantly, the CF patient himself? Because living with cystic fibrosis has a deep impact on not only the individual inflicted, but on all those surrounding them. It leaves no area of life untouched. Looking at Wells, you would probably never know he is battling with a disease. Yet his body is in a constant battle. I worry daily what irreversible damage is being caused to his lungs. We have spent the past 10 years tweaking his care as needed. Currently, Wells is on 11 different medications a day and spends 2 hours each day hooked up to a machine and nebulizers just to stay healthy. In the past year alone, he has endured sinus surgery and spent a month on IV antibiotics, one administered every 6 hours and one every 12 hours. He claims that those 2 days in the hospital for a pH probes were worse than all of that. CF is a very challenging disease for anyone, and truly a very real fight that we have to win. There are a lot of bad days, a lot of heartbreaks, a lot of uncertainties, and a lot of tears. But that being said, there are more great days, because Wells doesn't let cystic fibrosis hold him back. He has an amazing spirit and a smile that just won't disappear. He has accepted the challenges of CF head on and has taught us to be stronger, better people by the way he handles his illness with such tenacity. He has made us more appreciative and gracious individuals just by watching the way he's accepted that CF is a major part of his life and is allowing it to form the person he is becoming. But let me ask you this. Put yourself in my shoes for a minute. How do you let yourself have hopes and dreams for your child if you know that something was going to prematurely take their life? I mean, Stuart and Chase, they have their whole future ahead of them, and I have big dreams for them. I wouldn't be a great mom if I didn't acknowledge my fear of the statistics that say cystic fibrosis has the potential to steal Wells away from me, way before his time. As a child, as a teenager, who experiences college, marriage, children, simply before he accomplishes his own dreams. It's an honest statement. And when you have a family member with a chronic illness, I guess you can't help but focus on how long they will survive. But you see, here's where it changes. I have hope. And without hope, I could not at all be on this journey. There is so much hope. Wells certainly has so much hope. We have so much hope for a bright future for those living today with cystic fibrosis because of new therapies and drugs that can potentially change the course of this disease. And for that, I am so very thankful. Yes, we do know the prognosis of cystic fibrosis, as does Wells. But we have plans to fight this disease with everything we have so that Wells can accomplish his dreams in life. Isn't it my job, as well as his mom, to provide him the encouragement and hope so that indeed he can reach his dreams? Why wouldn't he think otherwise? I'm not saying it will be easy, trust me. We have a long road ahead of us and certainly cannot do it alone. I have learned that it sure does shape not only the people living with this disease, but those who walk along with them. It takes an entire army of doctors and specialists and families, and the whole community to support, love, and cheer on these cystic fibrosis warriors. So my dream for Wells, I dream that Wells can achieve in life the things that most of us take for granted: an education, a career, a family, and a long and healthy life. And along the way, very simply, I would love for him to breathe, to just breathe like you and me.